Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli turns offensive against RJP Nepal and Forum, warns of pulling down Province 2 government at any time. Politics in Madhesh takes a new turn following the entry of CK Raut in the mainstream. Dispute emerges within NCP over the unwanted prospect of referendum over the Madhesh issue. Rival demonstrations taking place in Venezuela in response to calls by opposition leader Juan Guaido and President Nicolas Maduro. And Raheem Sterling's second-half hat-trick gives Manchester City a 3-1 win over Watford. City is still at the top of English Premier League table. Southampton shocks Tottenham with a 2-1 win. Let us begin with the latest national political updates. Prime Minister and Nepal Communist Party Chairman KP Sharma Oli has warned of pulling down the government Province 2 at any time. Prime Minister Oli made such a threat to RJP and Sanghiya Samajwadi Forum a day after forging agreement with coordinator of Alliance for Independent Madhesh, CK Raut. He was speaking at a mass meeting in Rohtak yesterday afternoon. Both RJP and Forum have a coalition government in Province 2. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Oli also warned both the parties not to exhibit arrogance on having a majority support in Madhesh. He pledged that the government would carry out development works as per the sentiments of the Madheshi people and complete the much-touted postal highway, which is crucial for the Tarai development within 4 years. Speaking at the same program, co-chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, said that only Nepal Communist Party would live up to the aspirations of the Madheshi people. Another senior leader, Madhav Kumar Nepal, however, stressed that the government should focus in its actions rather than making mere promises. The announcement of CK Raut to join the mainstream politics after allegedly giving up the 7-year-long secessionist movement has rippled the Tarai regional politics. The government led by Nepal Communist Party forged agreement with Raut just a day after one of the Tarai's major political force, Rashtra Janata Party, withdrew its support to the government. This has rendered the entire turn of events into dramatic. Raut vowed to give up his separatist motive and embrace a new political venture just a day after being released from prison following the Supreme Court's order. This has already created an apparent polarization between the three political forces with regard to the Tarai's regional issue. Raut has emerged as a new contestant to Sanghiya Samajwadi Forum and RJP Nepal. The parties have already established their competitive stature in Tarai's politics. Although being alleged of embracing the motive prohibited by the National Charter itself and carrying out activities against the state earlier, Raut has now shaken hands with the Oli-led government. Though Forum and RJP secured majority seats in the Tarai, both Nepal Communist Party and Nepali Congress have been insisting to have a respectable presence in the region. It is yet to be seen if RJP, Forum and Raut would eventually get into a tripartite competition or if a new political polarization would emerge in the Tarai region. The language used in the 11-point agreement forged between the government and the Alliance for Independent Madhesh has been drawn into controversy. Some of the leaders of the ruling Nepal Communist Party itself have expressed discontent, citing that the government reached agreement with CK Raut, the coordinator of the alliance, having a separatist motive like with leader of a different nation without even holding discussion within the party itself. The second point of the agreement mentions that the current socio-political problems would be sorted out based on people's opinion via democratic means. The Raut affiliates, however, have defined the term people's opinion as a referendum. A doubt has recently surfaced within the political sphere on whether the point of agreement was a face-saving attempt for Raut or to provide him a political space, or if the agreement on people's referendum has actually been forced. Leaders of the ruling party have expressed dissatisfaction toward the agreement, citing that it holds tendency of calling for referendum over the controversial issue of independent Madhesh. Leaders who have objected to the agreement include former Prime Minister Baburam Bhattarai and former Home and Defence Minister and Nepal Communist Party leader Bhim Rao, among others. Rao has sternly criticised Chairman Deo Oli and Dahal, citing that the party leadership forced agreement with Rao in a single-handed manner. He has also demanded discussion within the party over the 11-point agreement in both standing Central Committee meetings. The agreement has raised the risk of polarization not only in the national politics but also within the ruling party itself. It has been almost 2 years since the people's representatives were elected at the local levels. In this context, we had asked the representatives of Gorkha Rural Municipality and Municipality up to what extent have they been able to fulfill their commitments. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
प्रदेश र संघीय सरकारको नियत पनि क्लियर छैन स्थानीय सरकार प्रति, जसले गर्दा जुन बाचा गरेको थियो त्यो बाचा पूरा गर्न सक्ने सम्भावना चाहिँ म देख्दिन।
ऐन बनाइसकेपछि कार्यविधि बनाएर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्ने भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि अलिकति ढिलाइ भएको हो।
26 वटा बुँदामा हामीले चाहिँ प्रतिबद्धता व्यक्त गरेको कुराहरुमा सबैमा सुरुवात त हाम्रो चाहिँ सकारात्मक सुरुवात भएको छ।
स्वास्थ्य, शिक्षा, खानेपानी र अरु पूर्वाधारका कार्य, त्यसैगरी कृषि पर्यटनसँग जोडेर हामीले आफ्ना प्रतिबद्धताहरु व्यक्त गरेका थियौं। त्यसको एउटा जग राख्ने कार्य आरम्भ भएको छ।
काम सम्पन्न भन्न खोजेको हैन, योजनागत रूपमा योजना बनाउने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले करिब 70% हारेर योजना बनाउने काम चाहिँ सम्पन्न गरेका छौं।
सङ्घबाट परेको योजनाहरुलाई हामीले कसरी अपलब्ध ग्रहण गर्ने हो त्यो विषयमा हाम्रो छलफल हुन सकेको छैन। अर्को जनशक्ति भनेको हामीसँग काम गर्ने कर्मचारीको अभाव छ।
And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, what's your take on the government's preparation to turn all private schools into non-profit organizations in 10 years? Your options are A, implementation a challenge, B, impractical, and C, initiative for affordable education. Voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And with that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Manchester City has defeated Watford 3-1 at the English Premier League to stay at the top, taking a clear 4-point lead from their nearest rivals, Liverpool. In the match played at Manchester City's home ground last night, Raheem Sterling scored a hat-trick in City's win. Although the first half ended in a goalless draw, Sterling scored just 13 seconds into second half to give Manchester City a 1-0 lead. The goal was controversial as Sterling was considered offside when he received the pass from Sergio Aguero. The goal was also ruled offside by the assistant referee. However, after a long consultation, it was decided that Sterling was not offside and the goal was accepted. Sterling doubled City's lead in the 50th minute by scoring his second goal of the match, making good use of a pass by Mahrez. Sterling completed his hat-trick by scoring in the 59th minute to give Manchester City a comfortable 3-0 lead. Gerard Deulofeu scored a consolation goal for Watford in the 66th minute and Manchester City went on to win the match 3-1. After last night's win, Manchester City still leads the league table with 74 points from 30 matches, while Liverpool is in the second spot with 70 points from 29 matches. In another English Premier League match played last night, Southampton shocked Tottenham with a 2-1 win. Visitors Tottenham took a 1-0 lead through Harry Kane's goal in the 26th minute of the match. Tottenham could not hold on to their lead and conceded 2 goals within 4 minutes towards the end of the match. Jan Valery scored for Southampton in the 76th minute to level the match at 1-1 and James Ward scored the winning goal in the 81st minute. After last night's loss, Tottenham is still in the third spot of the league table with 61 points. In other EPL matches played last night, Newcastle took care of Everton 3-2, Leicester City defeated Fulham 3-1, Bournemouth brushed aside Huddersfield 2-1, Cardiff blanked West Ham 2-0, while Brighton defeated Crystal Palace 2-1. Now moving on to La Liga, Barcelona has defeated Rayo Vallecano 3-1 in the match played under the Spanish La Liga last night, taking a clear 7 points in the league table. Barca made a comeback from a goal deficit in the match played at Nou Camp. Vallecano had taken its lead in the 24th minute through Raul D. Thomas, however, could not maintain its lead as Gerard Piqué headed in the 38th minute, utilizing Lionel Messi's free kick. Lionel Messi doubled the score for Barca in the 51st minute through a penalty. Luis Suarez then scored in the 82nd minute to secure Barca's 3-1 win. With 26 goals, Messi is the highest scorer in the ongoing season. Luis Suarez is second with 17 goals. Meanwhile, in another match played under the La Liga last night, Atletico Madrid defeated Leganes 1-0. Saul Niguez's 50th minute goal became decisive for Atletico. Ernesto Valverde's Barca that has been undefeated for the past 14 games has 63 points from 27 matches and is at the top of the La Liga table. Second placed Atletico has 56 points, followed by Leganes in the third place with 13 points. With 6 consecutive losses, Vallecano is in the relegation zone. Departmental team Tribhuvan Army Club has advanced to the finals of Chapa Gold Cup football by defeating Cameroon's Dauphins Club 1-0. Tribhuvan Army made it to the finals following an own by Dauphins in the semi-final held at Chapa's Domalal Rajbanshi Stadium yesterday afternoon. Dauphins' Silu Martin netted an own goal in the 23rd minute. Goalkeeper Bikesh Kutu prevented a number of aggressive strikes from Dauphins, sealing the match in Army's favour. Tribhuvan Army will take on the home team Chapa 11 tomorrow for the title. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Prime Minister Oli turns offensive against RJP, Nepal and foreign, warns of pulling down province to government at any time. Politics in Madhesh takes a new turn following the entry of CK Rao in the mainstream. Dispute emerges within NCP over the unwanted prospect of referendum over the Madhesh issue. Rival demonstrations taking place in Venezuela in response to calls by opposition leader Juan Guaido and President Nicolas Maduro. And Raheem Sterling's second half hat-trick gives Manchester City a 3-1 win over Watford. City is still at the top of English Premier League table. Southampton shocks Tottenham with a 2-1 win. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.